Hi, my name is Jamie Edmonds. You may know me from my 20 years in TV news, more than a decade at WDIV in Detroit.
I'm Jamie Edmonds.
Or you may have heard my voice for the past 3 years on the historic WJR 760 on the morning show. It was so fun to wake up Sunday morning, get ready, watch this game. I have told other people's stories for years. It's time to tell my own. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in February 2026. I am in the thick of the fight. Since that terrible phone call, angels have propped me up and supported me, starting with the two in my household, my husband Ryan and my daughter Olivia. Then the circle expanded to so many people, so many angels helping me get through this. That's why I named this podcast Angels Along the Way. I will talk to folks who treat this awful disease, those who console, those who assist, and those who inspire. I hope this helps anyone and everyone on a similar path. One of my angels along the way, along this journey, has been Susan Thomas, who joins me now on this podcast. And Susan, I remember coming in this very room.
Yes.
Very early on after diagnosis.
Yes.
And sort of losing it, not being able to handle it. And
Yes.
you were there and you said, you're going to make it. That's the first thing you said, right?
Yes, of course. And I think that coming into this room just reminds each of us how surreal the whole process is and how out of body it is to sit and talk about our beloved hair. And of course, then, entertaining the treatment that we will have to endure.
One of the first things in calls and Google searches I did was to figure out wigs.
Yes.
Because I wasn't sure I could do the cold capping and I wanted to look like myself. I have
Yes.
a 3-year-old daughter.
Yes.
And I just happened to Google and find you and I hit the jackpot. But I hope to get the information out there of what we did together. And if
Yes.
someone wants to do this or is on a similar path, they can call you too.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing with how you found us. It is
Straight up Google.
straight up Google. And we love those Google searches. We have done our homework in regards to making sure that our name and information is out there. So when people are typing in, wigs for chemotherapy, hair loss, or alopecia wigs, or whatever case might be, that we are visible to people so that they can read about us, read about Emily, our stylist, read about my practice and how we started, and get the ball rolling.
Well, that's a good segue here. Let's talk about your background, Susan. How did we get to this point where you're doing this work, the Lord's work?
Well, I have a very unique opportunity to do this. I'm a nurse by primary career. My specialty was oncology nursing, and I was trained at the Detroit Medical Center. I've had wonderful mentors and people who became my oncologists when I was also 38 with a 3-year-old at home and diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. My oldest daughter was recovering from an accident the year before. So when it came to being diagnosed, we were overwhelmed with a lot of stress and strain, and it was very hard for me to navigate the system, even though I should have known it as a nurse professional. And therefore, after my experience of wearing bad wigs and looking like my daughter's grandmother instead of her mother, it was my husband who said, "Susan, I think it's up to us to change the industry. What do you think?" And after many nights and discussions, we actually started a company called Susan Special Needs.
Well, first of all, the oncology nurses who I've come in contact with, they're also doing the Lord's work. They are so compassionate and so lovely. So I'm sure in that work, you saw a lot of people who had situations where they wanted to look like themselves and just couldn't find it.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Then you go through it yourself. And that was quite a joke. You look like her grandma instead of her mom.
Yes.
And they look like wigs. A lot of the ones just look like, oh, that person's wearing a wig. That's what I didn't want.
I think I bought 6 wigs in that 9 months period of time because I was always hoping that the next one would be better. Little did I know that it needed to be fitted to my head, that it needed to be cut and styled and thinned out, and none of that was done. We were just handed a wig and said, "Thanks a lot, see you next time."
Right.
So I wanted the process to be more personal. I wanted it to be more thoughtful in regards to how people felt walking in. I wanted their families to be involved. I wanted to make sure that everybody in my chair would relax, take a deep breath, and allow us to do our best work.
Well, I remember when I came in that terrible time where I didn't know what was really going on, you were very comforting. And I wasn't worried that my wig wouldn't look right. I was still worried about the diagnosis.
Of course.
But you were very comforting in that moment, just want to say. So you start this business. What year is it when you start?
We started in 1992, and actually we started as a wholesale company. There were designers here in Birmingham that designed hats on my head, and we actually manufactured them in Seattle and started to sell them to 1,000 retail shops around the world.
Wow.
And
okay.
that was before the internet, so we had to go to the library and copy pages out of the yellow pages back then to call companies like this who would have been having headwear to sell to their clients. And so that's really how the business started. And then somehow a German wig company found me and asked me to produce some headwear for them. And in that process, they said, "We really like you. Would you like to be our U.S. representative for wigs?" And I said, "Oh, heavens no. I have no idea what to do with wigs." And 6 weeks later, there were deliveries on my step and crates filled with wigs. And they said, "We believe in you. We like you so much. Pay us when you sell these, and good luck."
Wow.
I know. So that's how we stumbled into the wig business, so to speak.
Wow.
Literally. However, I had a good friend in Chicago who taught me the wig business, and I put my own
like your own spin on
details
it? Yeah.
to it with my nursing background, and I was able to then create a very unique perspective with both my experience as a patient and then as a retailer and a wholesaler too.
How do you think your former profession of oncology nurse helped you in this business?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that it helped me to remember that for as many people as we've seen, that everybody has a story. And one story is not better or worse than the other. It is just that everybody has a story. And every story is a unique opportunity to help and to serve. And perhaps our greatest goal is to help in more than just providing a product. It is to soothe, it is to comfort, it is to be a support team and a support system when perhaps they're not receiving support in other areas. So I think that's what I learned as a nurse, is to be able to give of myself and to keep myself focused on someone else's needs other than my own, and to keep going.
Well, and I think you said that from the patient perspective, you tried on some wigs that didn't look like you.
Yes.
And so now you really want to help the person who's sitting in this chair look like themselves.
Yes, indeed. I want them to feel confident. I want them to feel comfortable. I want their husbands to say, "Wow, you look fantastic." Or your doctor to say, "Gee, I thought you would have lost your hair by now. Didn't you lose your hair?" And for them to say, "Yes, this is my wig," and then for them to be surprised. I want them to feel normal, so that they don't have to tell people that they don't know what happened to them, or
right. if they don't want to. Here I am on a podcast, so I guess I'm telling a lot of people. But yes, and I will tell you a couple anecdotes. My husband says he forgets sometimes when I'm wearing the wig that it's a wig. That's how good it is. And I've had a lot of people tell me that. There was a post from Emily, and we'll talk to Emily, the stylist, in just a bit.
Yes.
Where she put a picture of me out there, and people know me from Channel 4, and they're like, "Wait, she's wearing a wig?"
Yes. Yeah.
That's a big compliment.
It is a big compliment. Thank you. And that is what the partnership I have with Emily allows us to do here. This is not about me and my talent. This is Emily's talent and her desire to create a unique product for each person sitting here. Her creative talent is absolutely impeccable. And her kindness.
Well, I think it's a little bit about you, Susan. You started this whole thing. You've paired up with Emily, and here we are talking about it. So let's talk. So now you're in the 90s, the German wig company. They're partnering with you, and you start selling the wigs. Go from there.
There were people who in our community just were going through different issues with hair loss and said, "Well, why don't you just open a store? And I just want to come to see you. Why can't you just have a store?" So we opened a little store in Ferndale on Woodward, and we started there and let the doctors in the area know. And pretty soon we were busy, and one thing led to another. I also had a durable medical equipment company, so I was also doing mastectomy fittings and bra fittings and post-surgical stuff.
Also a need there.
And so we've seen there in Susan's Special Needs, we saw 12,000 people in 13 years. And not to say that everybody bought something. These were just people who crossed my door. But when I think about it, I think, wow, what an opportunity that I've had and a blessing to be able to meet so many people, so many people who have enriched my life, as I'm hoping that we have done with them, and that excites me. That makes me happy. That what I really had strived to do really did come to fruition.
Now what happened?
Okay, so in 2019, my husband and I we were empty nesters, and we decided to downsize, and it was time to move on in our business and to look at other opportunity. And Anthony Marcellase and Jeff Davison, who are owners here at Antonino Salon, I've known for 40 years, and in conversation with them, we decided that maybe this was an opportunity for me to continue our practice on a smaller scale. And with the talent and the opportunity of just being in this amazing environment of brilliance and creation and kindness and all that other stuff, that this would be a wonderful opportunity for me to partner with them. And so we began working 2 days a week, and I continued to work 2 days a week. I have had a variety of different, I brought my own stylist from Susan's with me, Shannon, and then there was Deborah, who also worked with me for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then Emily has joined me in the last 2 years. And I couldn't be prouder of what they all have done in terms of using their creativeness and their talent to do the exceptional work that they do.
Well, I am a testament to that. I mean, I just love my wig. I call her Samantha.
Do you? Yeah.
I just like to name
I like
her.
it. Yeah. It looks very chic on you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very. And I have friends all around the world who have made wigs for me. I custom make wigs for the salon, and I have my own synthetic line of wig that I import from Germany. And
same Germans?
Different group.
Different
group.
Okay.
Friends of the originals.
Okay.
And I am very blessed to be able to call up someone and say, "Gee, this is a market that I want to explore. Can you help me provide a product?" And we put something together and build it for the salon. So it's between the product that we are designing and developing, looking at new opportunities, looking at new fabric, looking at new textures, looking at new hair samples, looking at new styles, new color, and then of course my team here.
I am new to the wig world. Mm-hmm. There are different kinds of wigs. Tell me, this is called lace front, right?
It's called hand-tied lace front, monofilament.
Good thing you're here, Susan.
And there are lots of different wigs are created, and they're priced as to how they're made. Many of them are made by a computer called machine made. Many of them have lace front. Many of them are more dense for those women who want more volume, who want more bouffant kind of hair, or who have long, very thick, curly hair. So we actually have a variety of different products, machine-made products, hand-tied products, whole lace products, where the interior of the lace is all in the interior of the wig. However, in my practice of seeing now so many people, I've been able to evaluate which product works the best and which doesn't.
That's what I was going to ask you. When I sat in the chair and sort of told you what end result I wanted, it's not like we talked about different things like that.
Right.
You just knew what I needed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When I first started, I would sit in church and look at people and say, okay, which wig would I put on this person? Which person would I put on that person? And my family thought I was crazy. But yeah, when people walk in the door, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Really?
Yes.
Well, because I still had my hair when I came here. So were you looking at my hair and the texture and such?
And then after a few minutes of talking to you and looking at your picture, et cetera, we knew. But there are people who bring us pictures. But I can tell when a wig is being tried on whether that wig is going to fit or not, just by how it slides on your head. And that's just from seeing so many people. Okay. But again, no matter what the interior of the cap is, we then have to fashion the cap and to sew the interior of the cap to make sure that it fits correctly. And that's my secret sauce. No one does that here in the city. These are techniques that I learned in Europe and have taught over 1,000 retail shops around the country to do. And so the way that we tailor wigs on the inside is different. The way that we cut the interior of the wig is different, as well as the outside of the wig. Okay. So those are all things that we've learned along the way. And in my tenure of being able to deal with large heads and large foreheads and flat heads and all different kinds of shapes of heads, the way that God made us, we've been able to tailor that particular wig to make sure that it looks right. and successful.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know all these behind the scenes things that were happening that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just use me as the
Yes.
basis here. So I walk in, I'm newly diagnosed, and I say to you, I want to look like myself. And you're already sizing me up and figuring out what you want to do. So I sit down, and then you and Emily, how do you and Emily interact? And then how does the order go out? Explain all of it.
When we discuss things, it's real important for me, from my perspective, that you were shown every single option, and not necessarily the most expensive option, but all the options and all different price points.
Shocker, I picked the most expensive.
So that so that someone can choose, can see for themselves, and then decide what's best for their budget, depending on lifestyle, depending on budget, etc. We have $400 wigs, and we have $4,000 wigs. It really just depends as to what people are looking for and what's going to be best for them. When we leave the room, our inventory is in another on another floor here. So when I'm walking up the stairs or on the elevator, Emily and I will decide, let's pull A, B, and C, and D, and to provide wigs both in synthetic and as well synthetic human hair choice, and as well human hair, so that you're shown every single opportunity there is.
So was this hair in your storage unit?
Yes, this wig was in my
This
storage
human
unit.
hair?
It's in I have a little office upstairs.
Okay. Does it? I wanted the highlights. Like I've been getting highlights since I was in 5th grade. So I wanted the blonde highlights. Did the hair start that color?
Well, yes. However, with human hair wigs, we can't take a brown wig and put blonde highlights in it. We have to start with a blonde wig and deposit color into it.
Interesting.
So if we're doing highlights, we're starting with the lightest blonde, and then Emily is using her creative genius and all the chemical background stuff that they do in order to
I'll ask her about the blonde.
Yeah, how they determine the blonde color and what colors they're going to use to get the achieved result.
So I didn't see you again for what, like a couple weeks after that
I
initial?
suspect so, yes.
Okay, so what are you doing in those couple weeks?
In those couple of weeks, we were getting the wig ordered, and the process for coloring wigs is about 10 days to 2 weeks. Okay. It's not like going to the salon and walking out 2 hours later with highlights. This wig had to be ordered.
Okay.
So we ordered it from my manufacturer, and then got it
Where's
here.
that?
The manufacturing house that I use is in California.
California, okay. So you ordered.
So I ordered it and got it in the next day or so, and then gave it to Emily, and she had already discussed with you what you were looking for in highlighting, and then she begins the process. Okay. Sometimes she has quite a few wigs in the queue to get going. So,
but all the women who come in are on some kind of timeline. We all want them right away.
Yes, but I have to say that in all these years, I've never missed a deadline, and I'll never miss a deadline. And as long as I'm doing this, I've never missed a deadline in terms of making sure that wig was available for that person at the time that we promised. So during that period of time, then we're seeing other clients and other patients and doing other things, and then as soon as Emily had the color, I believe that we scheduled your return appointment for your first fitting, and we didn't, if I remember correctly, we did not clip off your hair at that time.
No. I had a whole plan for that, and I was just hanging on to it maybe a little too long. But that first time I came back, I still had some hair.
Yes.
And both you and Emily are saying, okay, this isn't the right fit until you don't have hair. And
Correct.
so then I came back a third time when I didn't have hair. We did the final.
Yes.
You gave me all of these products and told me how to care for it, and then sent me along my way.
Yes. I think there's something that people don't know is that the way a wig fits over a full head of hair is completely different than when the hair is gone. And so when you go online and you're getting a wig, I see it every day because people bring in wigs that perhaps they've bought somewhere online, and it doesn't fit. It's not the right size. It's too much hair. Sadly, they're not getting that personalization where the outcome is going to be the same.
Right. One thing you told me is the difference between human hair and synthetic.
Yes.
And sort of how you have to be very careful with synthetic.
Yes.
I mean, these are all things.
Yes.
Blew my mind.
Yes. We've had women who, with synthetic wigs, if you're opening up the oven to take the Sunday dinner out, the 350-degree oven is going to fry synthetic fiber. At Susan's Special Needs, the day after Thanksgiving was the busiest day of the year because everybody was making Thanksgiving dinner and forgetting because the doorbell rang, the turkey the timer on the oven rang, and they pulled the turkey out and called me the next day. Oh my God, I fried my wig. What do I do? So the Friday after Thanksgiving, we all had to be on board because we knew we were going to be busy. So
that's your Super Bowl, Susan.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, well, it's not so much anymore because we really then started talking about it.
Yeah.
Please, I've got a lot of women out there in synthetic wigs. They're just not able to wear that wig in the kitchen, or they're asking their beloved family to help them. But we've had women who've put them in the dishwasher. We've had women who put them in the dryer. We've had a gal who put it on a lampshade to dry it quickly and burn her wig. So everything that you could possibly imagine has really has come to be in my practice.
Okay.
And so we've adapted our conversation and education, if you will, to accommodate for all those. Please don't. We're protecting your investment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. You don't want to mess it up.
Do you have an anecdote that you'd like to share with us, whether that be someone who's traveled a long way to come see you, or a really heartwarming
Oh, my
story?
goodness.
I mean, I'm sure you have thousands.
I have thousands of people. There was a gal that flew in from Honolulu 2 years ago. She had heard about us online. She originally lived here in Michigan, and she was an executive of a large corporation in Honolulu, and couldn't find anything in the islands, let alone mainland, and in California, and was unhappy, and said, okay, I'm just going to hop on a plane, and where do I stay? And she stayed at the Townsend. It came in.
Antonino Salon is across the street from the
Townsend Hotel. And she came in and met with us. And at the time, my stylist was able to color her wig very quickly. And we got her back to Honolulu in 48 hours.
Well, I mean, I love what you're doing for people. I know in my situation, my dad gifted me this wig. He wanted to do like everything possible for me. Am I going to cry every episode? My goodness. Anyway, he wanted to do it all for me. And I remember you talking to him on the phone, and he like went to a separate room. You figured out the credit card or whatever. And he left crying. I don't know what you told him.
I have to share something with you that you don't know.
Okay.
And that is that on that particular day that he called, I was at the grocery store.
Okay.
And he identified himself. And I said, oh, excuse me, sir, I'm so sorry. If you will give me 2 seconds, hang on the phone. I went into the parking lot of the grocery store and sat there for an hour talking to your dad.
Really?
Yes.
It was that long? Okay, I didn't know that.
Maybe it wasn't an hour, but it was surely a long period of time, probably 45 minutes. And of course, we were talking about your order, et cetera, but also about what it meant to him to see his daughter have to go through this, and went through your medical history. And then because I have daughters, I said to him, sir, no matter how old your daughter is, she'll always be your baby girl. And with that, we both started to cry.
Like I am right now.
And I remember saying to him, Doctor, I am available to you at any time to talk. If you need to talk to me about your daughter, or if you feel, confused or anything about what we're doing or how we're doing it, or how should you feel free to contact me. I think one of the nicest things about my practice, being a nurse, if I can go back to that, is that I've been on call for 50 years to my clients, and I'm still on call. I still get calls on Thursday at 3 o'clock about how to put their wig on, or I have, calls at midnight because their head itches. Now, I don't always catch those calls are not always caught at midnight, I might add.
Okay.
But at the same time, people have available to me. I want some old-fashioned customer service in this upside-down world to be able to reach out to people and to be available to people during their hardest moments. Yeah. I think that is so important. That's what, sadly, in healthcare today, many people don't have that opportunity to get instant reply or help immediately. And I like that feature of my practice, to be able to reach back and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And I'll see you on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Yeah. I like that part of my practice. I like being able to still be able to provide all this.
How do people reach out to you, Susan? I mean, I Googled, found your number, but tell them and what days you're available. And you're here at Antonino Salon across from the town.
I am here Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm semi-retired. I'm here from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I know that is oftentimes difficult hours for people who work, families who work, who want to come with their loved ones. However, this is the stage of my life where I'm taking care of family members. And so the schedule works out best for me at this moment. I have the opportunity to be with Emily, who is my stylist, and I know you'll be talking with her next. And she does amazing work with me and for me. I couldn't be prouder of her in all ways. However, people can reach me through our website, through our numbers there. They can text me. I get a lot of text messages these days, as I'm sure everybody does. There are lots of pictures in our wig gallery to show you the quality of our work, and also some testimonials that I think will be helpful. But they can also, and again, it's not unusual to, I'm booking out 2 weeks ahead of time, but my schedule changes all the time due to doctor's appointments and tests that come up and things like that for my clients. So you never know. People can just reach out to me, and I will always get back very quickly.
Can confirm. She does get right back to you after you text her, and you've been checking in with me, and I really appreciate that. I thought I'd end my time with you, Susan, with people who are listening might be going through this. Yes. You gave me comfort when I was sitting here crying, and you said you're going to get through it, and you know that because you did. Tell other people out there that they're going to be able to get through it.
I think that my message is that even though the news is always so shocking, no matter whether you're 38 or you're 48 or you're 68 or 78. However, the advances in medical care these days is such that many women can sail through, for the most part, their chemotherapy treatments. And I always like to say that there's lots of life after chemotherapy, and that we're here to make a very delicate time easier, and that I've got their back, and I'm able to make sure that they're taken care of correctly and kindly, and that we're here to support them.
Thank you, Susan Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to help
you,
and for allowing us to be part of your podcast and your journey. I really appreciate the opportunity, as I know that the owners of Antonino Salon do as well. Thank you very much.
Now I'm joined by Emily Garlow, and you are the stylist when it comes to all of these wigs. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So again, I met you on that day where I'm like, I just want to look like myself. Mm-hmm. When someone comes in like that and says, I just want to look like myself, how did you assess what I needed?
Well, it's such a personal vision, so if someone doesn't have their hair, we look through pictures and decide what length we need to start with to kind of just create the look, and then proceed with color analysis and what their goals are, and then we pick the right piece and then talk about color and start the process.
What's your background? How'd you get to team up with Susan and do this work?
Well, I've been at the salon for nearly 20 years, and so 2 years ago, Susan and Anthony approached me asking if I would team up and start helping her with wigs. And at first I was like, really? I don't know. It was not part of my world doing hair, but they really believed in me and nudged me. So here I am, and I love it.
What's different doing the wigs or someone sitting out there at Anthony's?
Oh, doing wigs is completely different.
Well, tell us how the sausage is made then. Okay. So I wanted these blonde highlights, and you find the hair, and then what?
Well, coloring wigs is completely different because I have to start with a blonde piece and then put the dimension in there. Hair is so multi-dimensional that it takes a lot of steps to create all of those colors in the wig. So, and everyone sees color differently. It's so personal that it's really just a creative process, working together to figure out what's right and what's good on your skin tone. And so
it must be interesting to not have the person there while you're coloring, because like my skin tone is not up against the wig as you're coloring it and stuff. So that's got to be hard.
Yeah, I take pictures and then most people want to look like themselves. So that's the goal, match up their color, what it was before, and then.
How does the highlighting process work? Do you have to do it multiple times? Is it different with a wig than a person sitting there?
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of wigs are colored with textile dye, so I'm limited to what I can color with those. That's why I start with a lighter colored wig. And like for yours, for example, I did the base color, put some dimension in there, like yours is a little darker underneath, and then went through and made it a little lighter on the face. So it's probably probably 4 different steps.
Interesting. Okay. And then the first time I came, I still had my hair, so the fitting wasn't quite right. And also I said, can you brighten it up just a little bit?
Yeah.
Like summer's coming. I'm used to like a bit more highlights there. And is that a problem for you to say, can you do a little extra step?
No, of course. That's what we do. Yeah.
Okay.
We like to make it perfect. We want you to be happy and feel the best you can wearing it.
Are there like products if people have their wigs already, or if they're going to come to you guys that you just like love? Because I'm going to need to reorder something.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we do use specific wig products, wig hairspray, wig shampoo, conditioner, heat styling. So we have our favorites that we always, with human hair, we always give to. Yeah.
So the washing process. You can't jump in the shower and put the shampoo in and wash it out. So how do you wash a wig?
Yeah, you take it off your head.
Okay.
I have the shampoo and conditioner out. I usually have a towel laid out. And then I like to use some sort of large dish pan
Basin or something?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And rinse it under cool to lukewarm water. And then I put it in the basin of water, add about a quarter size shampoo. So it's sudsy water, and just lightly glide the hair apart, open up the cap, let the suds get throughout, and then take it out, dump the water. Depending on how dirty, I sometimes do a second shampoo, repeat that same process, and then rinse it. And then with the conditioner, just put a little on the ends.
Okay.
And then a nice, solid, thorough rinse. And then have your towel there, blot it to dry,
Okay.
and then comb it out, put it on an open-aired stand to dry, ideally overnight, and then you would proceed with styling.
And the styling is another thing. I thought, okay, just put it on my head, and since I got the human hair wig, I can style it.
Right.
But no, you have to get one of these heads
Canvas
from
heads.
Amazon.
Yes.
What are they called?
Canvas heads.
Canvas heads. Okay.
So that it's nice and stable, so you can pin it so it won't move.
I mean, you can joke about it now. I can, at least. I'm feeling in a good place. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like the doctors are going to get this. I'm going to get to the end of this.
Yeah.
But something that helped me when I did eventually shave my head was I have Samantha sitting and waiting there. That made it easier for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important to just be able to feel like yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
and have the confidence to carry on with
Yeah.
these difficult
It's so
days.
good. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's a journey, and we'll see how I am in like 6 months when I still don't have hair, but we'll see. This is private. Like, you
Yes.
come into the salon, there are other women getting their hair done like usual, but then you're escorted to the back. There's a private room, and this is where we do our talk, because you can get emotional, and you don't
yes.
want everyone to see that.
Yes.
I forgot that part of this process.
Yeah, the privacy is really important
Yeah.
for this.
So there is privacy, even though it is at a big salon
Right.
where a lot of people may know it.
yes, we're
Okay.
so grateful for the private room.
Yeah. Good job to the people who own Antonino Salon
Yeah, they're
for allowing
amazing.
this in the back.
Yeah.
And thanks for having us on this podcast.
Yes. Thank you, Jamie.
Oh, Susan, you didn't have to do this.
Oh, this is just something small from us. And a
love it.
thank you. The pink
thank
rose
you.
was my sign of affirmation when I was being diagnosed.
Oh, yes? Okay. So that's
And
why
so
they're
the pink rose is very important to me.
Thank you.
And so, I please accept this bouquet and some other things from us to thank you for allowing us this opportunity to spread the word of what we do here. And I really, again, am very privileged to have met you. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.